have divided my presentation into three main parts. First, I'm going to speak about the RUDN University in general and say a few words what exactly we do in our way to be in the leading research center think tank. Then I'll move on to foreign languages department and our contribution we make to global scientific thinking, the research impact. And I'll summarize with a short outline of what we do to support our students' research and how we teach them for scientific communication. Okay, so I'll try to confirm what I say by the figures. So to tell you the truth, I myself was amazed while preparing the presentation. Okay, so first of all, special emphasis should be laid on the center to support RUDN faculty in journals publication activities, which was set out to coordinate and balance publication activities in foreign languages. So the main functions of the center include searching for, compiling, disseminating information in international journals with a strong academic reputation, so it helps not just to draft but to search where to publish, where to submit your paper. So first, in the year of 2015, seminars and tutorials were held on a regular basis, but throughout the following year, 15 training seminars were organized in close collaboration with Thomson Reuters, Elsevier, Springer Nature, Reims and Trento University from Italy. So all in all, over 450 representatives of RUDN academic faculty, and not only faculty but also researchers, from research students up to principal investigators, took part in these sessions. Talking about continuous professional development programs, so we should mention these special courses modules within the programs for teachers, and basically two of them: academic writing for publications and making research presentations in foreign languages. As you could see, 350 participants were recorded. Okay, a very important point is the financial reimbursement, of course, as usually, money never slips. So there's the special financial compensation for the authors of papers. So initially it was just for Q1 and Q2, but if I'm not mistaken, now it stretches to all 4 quarters. And but there should be one reservation made, because the decision was made to discontinue reimbursement for papers published in potentially unscrupulous journals, which our rector calls Murzilka. Okay, so talking about scientific journals, I'm proud to speak about 2 international journals which are listed in the international database of Scopus and Web of Science: Gravitation, Cosmology, and Contemporary Mathematics. Our university is proud to be the co-founder of these 2 journals. Okay, just some statistics to confirm what I've been saying so far. 247 papers in the year of 2015 compared to 450 papers in the year of 2016. So makes me personally impressive. Hopefully not me. So, and you can see how the numbers changed since we joined. Have changed since we joined the top 500 project. And you can see that 33% were published in Q1, Q2 journals, with over 50% of the articles in chemistry, mathematics, physics. Okay. Besides, the International Mobility Program, large-scale ongoing program, resulted in 93 papers published in conference proceedings, indexed by WOS and Scopus. Okay, so that's important to it's important to mention that we are behind all this, because our University Commission of Foreign Languages, which unites 9 departments of foreign languages, also set forth particular indicators regarding the foreign language teachers' publications. We have to break down the long-standing university vision that we do not deal with research. That's a misconception. We constantly have to combat. So, and the next slide to prove that we are quite successful in that. These are just some examples of Web of Science and Scopus conference series. I mean the conference series which published the conference proceedings in this database series. We actively participate, and we have been participating since the year of 2009, right? Okay. These are mostly conferences for educationalists, foreign language teachers, linguists, and others. But of course, our main asset is our students. So to enhance the activities, the university's activities toward being a leading research center. So we included special modules of academic writing for publications and doing research in foreign languages into the curricula for bachelor's, master students, and PhD students. There is a special rector's order in force concerning the thesis defense in foreign languages. Well, so it is mandatory for masters who are Russian Federation citizens and for bachelors who do the in-session professional conversion course on professional translation. If I'm not mistaken, as of the next academic year, the same rule will stretch to our bachelor graduates, students in their fourth year of studies, in case they would like to defend their graduation paper at a good or excellent mark. Okay, so definitely participation in conferences on topics related to future professional activities and conference abstracts in foreign languages. So all this contributes to the basic rule of scientific development, and on average each foreign language department holds 2 conferences per year in foreign languages. So in this slide you can see our contestants from the medical department who were proud to be awarded the first and third place here in the international conference held at their University of Budapest in Hungary, which holds the 90th position in the QS top university rating. So you can see the happy faces. This here is a picture from the university traditionally held by the Academy of Engineering. It's called New Technologies in Engineering. And the conferences we hold lead to the proceedings. So in our department, foreign languages department at the science faculty, this year has published the third book. We publish our books in 2 languages, Russian and English. So those junior students can prepare for and submit for publication their papers in Russian, but using sources in foreign languages as a must, while our senior students report in English, so share their scientific results they obtained and the knowledge they created in English. So you can also see the book published by the Institute of Law in English, and the Ecology Department faculty also kindly send us a picture to show today. Okay, so let me move on to the profile of foreign languages department. So I hope that you understand the picture. So we are the usual story. We have ladies only. Not sure about all the departments, but that's our feature. So first of all, a few words about the faculty itself. So I'm not going to cover the statistics for all the departments and faculties, but just to give you an example. So last year, our faculty published 164 papers in journals indexed in the Web of Science and Scopus databases. And here you can see what our students have made. You can see that is really impressive. That's why we and the other foreign languages departments have to keep up with this pace the faculty is developing. So right now there are 3 research centers which are being implemented, created in our faculty: Joint Institute for Chemical Research, Nikolsky Mathematics Institute, and Institute for Applied Mathematics and Telecommunications. So we have to take up these challenges, solve the needs of so very many majors who are absolutely science-driven. So what do we have to do? Of course, we have to keep up with them. So let me demonstrate here a picture from the conference we annually held, and just to entertain you a little bit, I'd like to demonstrate you a short sneak peek into the opening what our students do, so if you don't mind.
No way, look, here is our drone, Max. And he will take our photo.
All right, everyone, sit straight, please. Straight.
and say cheese. Thank you. Cheese. Oh, some problems.
Okay, to clarify it a little bit, that's a self-made drone, which is programmable and which can take pictures. And our third-year students are proud to showcase what they've done. And another one, we secretly call David Copperfield. Just look.
Everyday life. Look, this small model is made from compact discs, tube, rubber, pencil, and small piece of plastic. When my assistant is rotating the pencil, the rubber inside is stretching. Then she puts it on the table and it starts moving. It will move while the rubber inside is stretched. I think it's amazing. And our second guest is made from a compact disc, balloon, and plastic. All of you know that disc won't slide on table due to friction. However, when my assistant inflates the balloon, be ready, it starts sliding.
As you could see, so they look quite enthusiastic, and for non-language students, I guess that's an achievement to freely share their results and the emotions with a huge audience. We try to motivate our students in different ways, and including their promoting for further contests inside and outside the university. So in this slide you can see the three reports which were awarded second and third places last year in the university research project contests. Our three master students who are foreigners from Lithuania, from Turkmenistan and India, so did a research, interdisciplinary research into the Russia's image by modern Lithuanians, and the third topic is has some background, from religious and ethnical field. And this picture shows the happy contestants who delivered the report at the Pearson Research Project competition. They awarded the third place with their report on green systems in urban infrastructure. And let me move on to the final part of the presentation, which is called How. Here, you know that miracles don't work, unfortunately. So how's it going to work in the classroom? What do we do with our students to prepare them? How do we teach them English and other foreign languages for scientific communication? Okay, we have kind of a model implemented, and here you can see the books we have already published. 2 more books are going to be published soon. We have submitted them for publication. These are the books on English for scientific presentations, and some guidelines on how to do the graduation paper project proposal in English, supported by our methodical books into professional translation. So I'll briefly outline the main principles we follow when we try to deliver this model, to deliver our agenda. First of all, it should be continuous step-by-step skills development. Then spiral approach to course design, because what we teach would be revised and reviewed again. They are non-language students. We try to combine written and oral communication. Just off the top of my head, when we teach them to write abstracts for scientific papers, we at the same time arrange oral activities, for example, elevator tour. We ask students to imagine that he enters an elevator and it has just 3 minutes while the elevator is going up. You have 3 minutes to sell your project successfully. Say who you are, what you are, what's the project you've completed, and what's the main result you've obtained, and how can it be applied to real life, how can it be sold. And so you have 3 minutes to convince them to invest into your project. That really works well. The students will just start to think out of the box and do incredible things. Of course, it's quite necessary to combine English for academic purposes, English for special purposes, when we have to prepare them for their specialisms also. And blended learning principle also works well here. So we have My Grammar Lab. This is the globally recognized resource by the Pearson provided by the Pearson right now, which combines the conventional book and the access to the platform where they can do a lot of exercises online. So we just pick the models for academic grammar, and that really helps them. And the last principle is text compression and decompression, where students have to both reduce the text to minimum and make like one thesis statement, and on the other hand elaborate on it to extend. Well, here you can see three stages. The first stage is what we call preliminary stage. So it includes conference proceedings for first and second students who make presentations in the format of Science 0+, like popularized science, while the senior students share their own scientific findings. So normally bachelor students of the second and third academic years participate in this conference in foreign languages, not just English, but German and French as well. And it is also followed by English scientific presentations. We teach bachelor students in the third academic year. It's the sixth term. This semester is preceded by the whole term of their teaching for professional communication and professional translation. And later on, I'll give you some details on each stage. Okay, so then the basic stage aimed at teaching to present their scientific projects and describe them for bachelor students in the fourth year, it's the eighth term, and graduation paper project proposal for master students in the sixth year. So with some difference between the fourth and the sixth, like graduation years. And finally, we have a special stage, which is about teaching for writing scientific articles. We provide to PhD students because we have the interim assessment, which includes the article written in compliance with the APA style with Scopus format article and its oral defense. Okay, scientific presentations first. In our book, so I will just shortly describe you each module. So in our book, on teaching 4 scientific presentations, we concentrate on different things, including general guidelines. Okay, what should be put into focus when preparing, then stages in preparing the slides, so how to process the information available, script writing and delivering, so including signposting, phonology, so the body language even, and so on. Then what to put on the slide, so including the fonts, backgrounds, and so on. And then definitely language focus, lots of cliches. And we thoroughly discuss every kind of activity they might apply this knowledge in. So how a presentation at a seminar is different from a roundtable discussion or from a poster presentation. Of course, our students have to do it quite often, dissertation defenses and others. So, and here, if you don't mind, just a sample exercise, so what we do and how we apply it. For example, we ask them to define the following concepts in your own words before discussing do's and don'ts, like what is to put across, how do you personally understand this, so pair work, cheer assessment, and so on. So then we actively deploy video resources, publicly available video resources, so normally with some experts who will give us guidelines and demonstrate what exactly should be done to deliver the message across to the audience. They can be, we have about 8 publicly available recordings deployed in our course with different purposes, and so we can see the students making progress now and here. And definitely project tasks, so starting with, for example, the key points for a topic given to you by your teacher. So first, it's like the compression principle, a 2-minute talk concerning the key points, then expanding your 2-minute talk into a longer presentation. And definitely what's important here is the peer assessment. We sometimes deploy the CELTA format like standard, above standard, not standard. For example, we ask all the audience in the group, we ask them to give their feedback. Like one person has to assess their speaker in terms of the delivery. Another has to analyze the information put here. So what was said here, you can see like a type scale. So like 1, 2, 3. So the whole audience is involved. In case somebody starts talking in the audience, so what I personally say is that sorry, pity, but you are not engaging the audience. They don't like your presentation at all, and it really works because of course, the situation changes. Okay, so how we teach to describe scientific project, graduation paper and project. So again, this is the course contents in compliance with our methodical book, first general guidelines, then layout and content, style and register, formal and non-formal communication, language focus and references, so appropriate citations and so on, with the following focal points, including abbreviations, including visual aids, punctuation, even how to what to put into the title page and how to do this. APA styles, though, we of course do recommend them checking with the guidelines of a particular journal, but still some basics on the APA style. So in some exercises, for example, finding transitions in the scripts, are they suitable or unsuitable? So you can do it in pairs, you can do it individually, you can discuss, you can convince each other, whatever. Okay. And purely linguistic exercises, so replacing repetitive words with synonyms. So again, we'll categorize in different types of transitions, matching them, putting them into the correct box. Okay, so how to describe scientific projects. So some sample exercises. So, for example, we ask them to prepare the short description on a topic given to you by your teacher, following all the recommendations commented in a definite video recording, discuss it with your partner. Here is a list of some resources we've used in this preparing the course. So the resources are aimed at particular aspects, for example, how to write an introduction to your research project, how to make a literature review, because they, when we start, they are terribly bad, they're terribly weak in it, and to be good at that, so they have to be provided a lot of information. And finally, so writing scientific articles. So to start with, so even a PhD, even students in the PhD department sometimes lack sufficient knowledge of different types of papers, and after 6 years of the experience, academic experience, they unfortunately cannot see the difference between different types. And what we have to do is, first of all, to convince them that even a theoretical paper is a scientific article, and you have to find your scientific niche. You have to find a research question. You have to approach it, not just retell somebody else's point of view. But definitely, special focus is put on the empirical studies, because that's the main type employed, so the main parts of the conventional article following their inbred introduction, methods, results, discussion, and conclusion, IMRAD structure. Okay, so starting with the basic things like what should be put here, introduction, so how should we proceed and so on, what should we, and assessing again first the articles, the bad and good examples of articles used. So, well, visuals work well here. This is a sandglass. This is the model which shows how to be coherent in different parts of your article and how to move from one part to another cohesively and coherently. Then, so I had to write introductions. While writing introductions, a lot should be said here, first of all, because our Russian articles are absolutely different from what is expected to be submitted for any English language journal. Again, some sample exercises, so matching the academic words, yeah, so then so these are two abstracts, so just read the first, don't criticize, but say how to make it better. Read the second, choose the best out of them, justify a choice, why is this better, what should be reworked here, so which paper would you like to read, the paper to the first abstract or to the second one. Okay, adjectives, so well, choice between the synonyms. Then guidelines on APA style, so a lot of drilling should be employed here, like how to incorporate a bracketed quote with the author's name in the text, without the author's names in the text, like information prominent citations and the author prominent citation, whatever. Okay, the main pitfalls, I guess that's really important. So what should we be working on? First of all, so they should research niche. Even the person, or especially the science faculty, who's obtained beautiful results in mathematics, cannot explain it, cannot share, cannot showcase it. So they should be, he should be, thoroughly instructed on how to describe the research niche you've completed. Okay, then the next Russian, that's what all of us have to come back on, like on the question on when it's just pure translation from Russian into English. Okay, then the structure. So as you know, what we traditionally distinguish in our papers are just two parts, theory and practice. Yeah, so but in most Scopus indexed journals, articles should have, for example, an analytical part, and so some instruction is required here. So how is different theoretical part from the analytical part, and so on. I've already mentioned that. Again, inappropriate quoting, so just inability to refer to the right source in the right way. Academic grammar, so we have to deal a lot with passives, verbals, complex subjects, which are actively underused, if you don't mind. Okay, most common mistakes are misused articles, too many of phrases, more than 7 in one sentence sometimes, then noun plus noun patterns which are underused, and the wrong word order. Okay, conventions ignored every year, so I start proofreading the articles. What I see is, I have done it, or the author of this paper, which is the coin from Russian and not that appropriate. Okay, wrong punctuation, assimilation of Russian commas. He said that, so on comma before that. Okay, so on what other resources we use? So of course, definitely, as we have to again host people from students from different majors, more than 5 majors at our faculty, so we have to rely on the article database here, so choosing the best examples. Then we have to search for disseminate reference materials. This is actually my desk companion, so by Mr. Sasinsky, how to write the mathematical article in English. So that's the unique paper I would heavily recommend everyone. So I wish we had the same for every science, for every subject we teach. And definitely cooperation with argument consultants, so is a must, because all in all we cannot take up this charge without their support, without their cooperation, and without their contribution.